I just kept wondering what should I talk about first today. I'm behind on some things, but there is some news that does need to be discussed, and that's the whole Netflix thing. So Netflix has, made huge announcements just like the past couple weeks here. One being that they said that we're going to use most of our billion-dollar budget on anime, and they announced in another article, which I should link, which I do tend to forget, so remind me if I do. They announced they're going to be spending $8 billion on anime, and they're going to be coming out with 30, or no, not total, a total of 30 anime original stories, but altogether they're going to be coming out with 30 different types of anime adaptations, which it seems that most of them are actually going to be original stories. Which, just think about 30 different stories almost that you're making. You're having someone write. Outside of the whole stories to where someone else is already writing them from a manga or a light novel. That's a lot. That's about 7 to 8 animes per season. And whenever I say season, guys, for some people who don't know, I mean 8 in the winter, 8 in the spring, 8 in the summer, 8 in the fall, and or 7. This would be right around 7.5 or so. But that's nuts. That's a lot of shows to be coming out with in one season. And this is, I think, 2018. It has so many big shows coming back, like Attack on Titan. It has High School DxD coming back. It has Fairy Tail coming back. It has Tokyo Ghoul coming back, right? It has all these different shows, and presumably Sword Art Online's coming back. And then on top of Netflix really just going all in, like it is with the platform it has. Anime this year could accelerate anime to that tier 1 media before we even thought. So that's going to be doing amazing things for the anime community in general. And I don't think I've ever been more excited to at least establish myself to some point on YouTube, because I think that's just going to elevate me and elevate everyone else who does this, of course. But besides just the selfish reasons per se, I should be excited. It's just nuts to see anime maybe getting that tier 1 popularity, getting that that tier 1 media status, and to where there's so many people in the world like, oh, I may look at you funny if you watch anime, but now it's going to be everywhere potentially, right? Everyone's going to be hooked on it. It's going to be a normal thing, and that's something that's really kind of interesting to me. I'm excited to see that. Now, I'm in here, and they're like kind of doing their own production with this kind of stuff, which is big, because if you don't, the least amount of publishers you have to go through, usually the easier the transaction is. So just making the anime, producing the anime, a lot of times it's just a whole lot easier if you do not have to go through production committees. But overall, how do I think about this? How do I view this? Because there's a lot of problems with Netflix. Some people say is they release it not one at a time, but all together, which, yeah, I understand, because it's easier to keep track and watch shows, because, Netflix's biggest thing is they need to understand the seasonal aspect, where most viewers just watch seasonal anime. Like, they binge watch their, certain shows, but at the same time, they also just watch these shows periodically, weekly, right? So, and they do it all at once for seasonal. Seasonal anime is something that a lot of people in the anime community do. Probably most, I would assume, with Crunchyroll and Funimation all getting bigger, and Amazon, people are becoming more aware of, hey, there are seasonal animes that come out weekly. There's a big slab of them that come out about 30 a season, and that's what people do. And Netflix is kind of, it just makes everything more difficult to keep up with as a watcher. I know Netflix that's what they always done. I watch The Ranch, for instance, and that's what they do. I love binge watching it. I'm glad they do that. But the anime is just different, because that's how it's been brought up. That's how we've been kind of like, I guess, like nurtured. Whenever we got into the community, they're slowly giving us one episode at a time, one episode a week, and that's something that Netflix is really gonna have to check out and get on board with, I think, because it garners more attention. It's easier for other people who aren't watching that show and are trying to binge watch that show, at that moment in time, to get up on that, get a hold of that, hear about it. And, at the end of the day, it makes shows popular because it builds anticipation and, suspense for each individual episode, and it allows people to discuss it rather than saying, do you see episode 1? Yeah, I'm on episode 10 now, that same day. It allows people to have conversations weekly, which garners popularity for a show. And I think that's the biggest thing about this, and I think that's what they really need to get on board with. But that could also be hard trying to do that if you're coming out with 8 different shows by yourself season. So I don't know. I understand it can be difficult. I understand they've grown their business doing what they do, releasing shows for binge watchers. And that's not what the anime's done. So, it's yin and yang right there, and in terms of like simulcast and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see. So what do you guys think of this news? Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, X25, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.